Hello, hello, my friends. Welcome to, or welcome back to Knits and Avocations. My name is Brooke, and this is episode 9 of my knitting podcast YouTube channel where I share about all my knitting, my projects, and sometimes a little bit of home herbalism, sometimes some reading, the books that I've finished, and a little bit of mama life here and there. And so today I've, I know it's been a while, but I've got a finished object to share with you all, and some works in progress, and some books I've finished, and a little something fun that some fun mail, and I'm ready to talk about knitting plans because I am at a loss for what I'm going to cast on next. Maybe you guys can help me decide. It is the I would say middle of summer here, but in Arizona we're going to be having summer until August or October. It will not cool down until October, so we're in for some heat for a while, and like 108 out already, and degrees Fahrenheit for anyone who needs to know. If you're in another part of the world where it's 108 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, so it's pretty warm in this. So why don't I get, pardon me, to talking about my Novice cardigan so that I can take it off in this heat. I've got the fan going and the AC is on, but it's still pretty warm. So I finally finished it. This is the Novice cardigan by PetiteKnit. It is knit with holding 2 strands of silk mohair by Sandnes Garn, and I just love this color. It's like this, you know, green pistachio color, and I absolutely love it. I love how this turned out. I had a few things with it. The things I did differently, we'll start there maybe, was I changed the button band. I found these buttons that are 1-inch buttons. The pattern calls for much smaller buttons, but I found these and I really loved these, and so being that they are 1-inch buttons, much larger, I needed to expand the button band, so I went longer on the button band and bigger on the buttons, so also less buttons. So I have 5 buttons rather than, I think the pattern uses 9 and places them a lot of them, and so that's something that I did differently. Everything else I did the same. I didn't change anything else, but I ended up, I was unsure a lot of times with this cardigan of length. When I wanted to stop at the bottom, I was worried about, I obviously shouldn't have been worried about how much yarn I had left, but I was worried about it, and so I could have gone longer. So what you see now is much different from what it was pre-blocked. Blocking made a huge difference on this, and I was kind of surprised because I'd heard a lot about how silk mohair won't stretch, and maybe it depends on the silk mohair, or just really how much stretch you're trying to make it do for you when you're blocking. But I ended up needing to stretch it a bit. I'll explain that part, why I did that, but I ended up having to stretch out quite a bit on this. Before it was blocked, my sleeves now are where they should be. I'm really happy with where they are because it's how it was intended. And so a few things are now as they were intended. Before blocking, they weren't. And I'd kind of come to terms with them by the time it was done. I'd finished it and was doing the button band and was finishing the button band, and I'm like, things are off. So because I like a more vintage style, I was okay with some of the things that turned out with this before blocking. my sleeves were much shorter, but I felt like, okay, they were more like here, but I kind of liked where they ended up because it did give it more of a vintage style, chic look. And I was still okay with that and happy with that. I'm happier now that they are as intended, but I was going to be okay with them being shorter because it was cute. The sleeves totally stretched though when blocked. And then the other thing was that the length, body length was much shorter than it is now. I'll stand up so you can hopefully see, and I won't move so that hopefully it focuses. So here's where my length is now, if you can see, and before it was much shorter. And as I was knitting it, it was much shorter, and wink wink Molly of calicostarstudio, if you're watching, girl, you know I was worried. So I was like, this is much shorter. I don't know if I'm going to want to keep going. And after chatting with Molly, we ended up, well, I ended up, she brings me, you know, off the ledge. I ended up just sticking with pattern length of when it, you know, it says knit this many inches. And so as I got to that length and I reached where it says to go, it looked okay. I was like, okay, maybe this is fine. But then when after, and there is quite a bit of ribbing there, and so when I reached the end of the, you know, stockinette and then got to the ribbing, and then I finished the ribbing, I was like, oh, I should have gone longer, and talked myself into thinking that I liked it shorter, which I could have been fine with it shorter because shorter sleeves, shorter, you know, it would have gone together, it would have looked totally fine and been super cute with plenty of clothes that I wear. But then I was like, oh man, I should have gone longer. But it worries me when I still have the sleeves to do and the button band to do, and I'm feeling like, ooh, I don't want to go past what the pattern calls for and then screw myself out of having enough yarn. So I did it as the pattern called, and it ended up blocking out and lengthening. My other issue though with this, and I guess that wasn't really an issue, more of a me thing of like, I need to just trust the pattern and the yarn. But the other thing, what the biggest issue that I had with this, and not to say that I don't love this, I love how it turned out. I'm really happy with it. I've already worn it twice, so it might be a little frazzled after it was blocked and everything, washed, blocked. I've already been wearing it. I've worn it out. I've got so many compliments on it too, because I went this weekend. Today is Sunday, and I was going to wear it to church today too, because, you know, at church they crank up the AC with a lot of bodies in there, and so I ended up cold, and so I was going to bring it to church, and then I got in the truck today, and I'm like, dang it, forgot my cardigan. But I wore it Friday and Saturday. I finished it, I believe, Friday morning was when I like took the pictures and stuff for it. Maybe finished it Thursday. And Friday night and Saturday there was a ladies wellness conference that my church was hosting, and it was fabulous. But I wore it to both of those because being inside the church, I'm usually cold. So people probably thought I was insane walking in with this cardigan on. It is very, very light though, but once I was inside, I was so glad that I brought it. It is very, very light, so soft. Like I said, love the color. I love the buttons that I ended up finding and pairing with it, and I'm really glad that I went with the button band decision that I did, because I think that the big buttons are much more me. I don't know if it's just a personal preference. Do you guys have like personal preference of like size of buttons that you like? I think I just like bigger buttons here, and so I'm really happy with how that turned out. Okay, so my dilemma that I ended up with was that here's, maybe someone might be able to give me a for sure, like, here's probably what happened. Here's what I think might have happened. because you're knitting across, you know, you're knitting from like this side, you knit to that side and back and forth when the body is on the needles. And I only knit with the time that I have to knit, like, you know, maybe 1 row at a time, maybe 2. And so, you know, when you sit down to knit, you're much more, I think when I sit down, I'm much tighter, and then, you know, you're knitting for a little while and you loosen up, right? I think that's what happened with this, was that I would sit down, I would start at the beginning of the row, and I'd be tighter, and then I would get to the end and I'd relax more and I'd be looser. That's the only thing that only explanation that I can have for what happened. Because what happened was, this side, was it this side? Yeah. This side ended up like a full, like 2 inches shorter than this side, but only on the front. Back was totally fine, but then it was like all of a sudden on the front, let me stand up and you might be able to, like, I can try and explain it, because you can't tell now because I blocked it out. This is the wonder of blocking, okay? This laid pretty much here because I really tried to not mess with this side at all because I didn't want it to stretch at all. This side was like legit, like up here. Now there could be another thing with that. I think my bind off was too tight, because the bind off that the pattern calls for, it literally does say in the video that the bind off is the bind off style chosen is meant to be tight because you want to keep the form of your button band, right? You don't want to have like issues with stretching and fitting buttons in. So makes sense, and totally was fine with this side. But it was a problem on this side. My bind off, I think, was just so tight, and this was like a full up here. So I was like, what happened? So that's my theory, is that the side that all these stitches just ended up were like, you know, scrunched, and these ones were looser. Now, before blocked, it was fine. Let me button it. It was fine before. It could have worked. It totally could have worked. I'll tell you why. When it was buttoned, it would not have worked if I left it and I didn't stretch it during blocking. I would not have been able to wear it open. I only would have been able to wear it closed, which would have been fine. It was cute. But I mostly wear my cardigans open, so I was kind of disappointed with that. Before blocking, you know, all this side had so much extra, and this side had a lot less. So when buttoned, you couldn't tell at all, because this side tucks under this side, and then you couldn't even tell that there was so much fabric under here, right? The thing though, pre-blocking, was because I ended up trying to get this side to stretch out so much, and the button band to stretch so much, I really pulled this button band. Then now it's kind of lost its shape. You can tell where I tried to stretch it, but I'm fine with it. I'm just glad that I fixed the problem so that I can wear it open and closed. So you can kind of see that the button band on this side is just a little misshapen now. I think it'll end up being fine though, and next time I like wash and block it, I will see what I can do to just kind of even things out once more. But so here's like how it is buttoned. So it worked out. Praise the Lord. Yeah, so here it is buttoned up. Yeah, let me think if there's anything else on this. I think that was it. So I'm really glad that I was able to fix the issue. Like I said, blocking was it worked incredibly on this. I really stretched it. I was considering that at the most, I hate having to undo things. I won't do it because my time is so limited on how much I get to work on projects that I don't want to have to rip things out and redo them. I'll just deal with it, or you know. And so it would depend on the project, I think, and how much time went into it and everything, but I really didn't want to have to undo. There was no way I was going to fix the whole thing. When I realized, I was like, maybe it's just a button band problem. No way I was going to fix like the problem if it was all this whole side was tight. But then I thought maybe at the very most I could just redo this side of the button band, or at the very least to undo the bind off and do the bind off over again to be looser. But it worked out with the blocking, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. And yeah, so I really love this. Yeah, I think that's all. It goes with so much of my wardrobe, so I'm super excited to be wearing it. Like I said, I'll be wearing it a lot inside at church, at least until it gets cooler out in October. Okay, so that is the Novice Cardigan. I'm gonna take a water break here. Okay, 2 whips. First whip is, if you saw the last episode, these are the same whips, but I've made progress on them. So I'm making another Romanticist bandana. I'm going to be kind of brief on these because I've talked a lot about the details on these on past episodes. So here it is. It's in this lovely tan color, so that it will go with whatever I wear. I wear my first Romanticist bandana. This is by Merbearmade. I wear the other one so much, and so I needed another one. And this is knit with Rowan DK, what's it called? Summerlite. Rowan Summerlite DK. It's Egyptian cotton. It's very like silky smooth, not uncomfortable in your hands. I really love it. So I'm excited. I've been really, since I finished the cardigan, I've been only working on that, and have quickly made progress. So I'll be able to finish that soon, I think. I also have another color in like a pink. I also bought that in, let me grab it. This pink here. Here it is. I also got in this cute pink. So I'll make another one when I feel like I need another one, one in pink too. Okay, so that's my one whip. The other one is, you've seen this many a time. I have worked on it a little bit though, so I'll show it quickly, is my Find Your Fade shawl by Andrea Mowry, knit using hand-dyed yarn by the Red Pansy. This is her yarn called Water Lilies 1919 from her Monet collection, and her Voyager sock base, which is 75/25 merino nylon. And I absolutely love this yarn. It just has been taking forever to finish this. I mean, who knows when it's gonna get finished, but to work on it. It is, I will say though, a good yarn to be working on when it's so hot out, because it's not like my hands, that's been the struggle with now being hot out. I don't have so much the desire to be knitting because my hands are just so clammy, being like, even inside it's warm. And we're trying not to like kill our utility bill, and by having the AC too low, and so it's not like super cool inside, and it's just scorching outside. So yeah, a yarn that's not super fuzzy is kind of nice to work on in this heat. But here it is. I have made some, I don't know if this is where I was last time or if I didn't move it. I'll move it this time. Now that I'm showing you again, I'll move it to here. But there's the Find Your Fade shawl. I have made progress, if you can tell. I was enjoying it for a little while because it's a very mindless knit. You know what I find helps too is I was for a while not working on it because I hate when you pause on a project and you don't pick it up for a while, and then I hate that learning curve process of when you pick it up again and you have to figure out where you're at. And I'm not that great at like taking notes of where I've paused at because I don't anticipate not picking it up for a while. It just happens. And then I try to pick it up and then I'm like, oh my gosh, where am I? What is going on here? And that's what I kept happening with that one. And so by what I found helping lately is picking it up more often, and picking it up and working on it for a little longer than I was before I put it down again, because then I retain where I'm at and the, you know, little details. It's mindless, but there are certain details in the middle. You have to do something on one side and something different when you flipped on the other side. And so, but the rest is just garter. So it's just that middle part that you have to remember, and then trying to find where I was in the pattern is just kind of a pain. The pattern is supposed to be a fade, and so there's a lot in the pattern that I just don't need because I'm not fading. I'm using only one yarn. And so it's, you know, when you open the pattern, then it's just like kind of overwhelming. You're like, okay, what section was I on? So, I've been enjoying working on it though. Yeah, we'll see when that one ends up happening. Thank you to all of you who said it was beautiful last time though. There were a few comments saying that the shawl, that some of y'all loved that the shawl was beautiful. So thank you. Okay, those are my whips. Let me show you what I got recently, and then we'll talk project plans. So some of you may have heard of, I have her name here so that I can remember it. Heard of, this was a super last minute podcast episode. Also, y'all, like, I was not planning on recording today, but now it's nap time. We got home from church, we ate lunch, I got my 2-year-old down for his nap, and I was like, I have the energy and the time, let's do it. And it's if any of you podcast, it's a process to, like, you guys set up the lighting, figure out, like, what are you talking about, get all the projects together and all the things. This was just thrown together, so bear with me. Thank you for hanging with me though. So don't mind my super last minute printed things that I wanted to, like, go over. It's hard when you record on your phone and then you can't look at your phone. So anyways, I printed off who this was from. So her name is Louise of Soft Spoken, and I'll put her Instagram in the description. But I got let me go behind the camera and show you these. The floral buttons and patchwork inspired stitch markers. So cute. So I'm super excited to, I don't know what I'm going to use the buttons on yet. I don't have any plans, but I got 4 of them, so hopefully that'll be enough for whatever I decide to do. And now I'm going to start using those stitch markers now that I've shown y'all. So cute. Okay, that's something that I would love to do if I were to pick up another hobby. I love patchwork projects, like the patchwork project bags and quilts. If I know how to quilt, and I quilted as a kid, my like adoptive grandma taught me. She's the one who taught me how to knit on the loom and everything. I digress, but she taught me how to quilt too, and so if I had the funds and the time, I would totally pick up patchwork quilting and project bags and stuff. That would be what I would want to do, in addition to knitting. Okay, now what else? We're gonna talk project plans. So here, let me show you what I have. The difficulty is that it's so hot out here right now, and so I was struggling to finish the Novice cardigan because of how hot it is and just having the desire to work on it. And the projects that I have are warm yarns, and I'm just not feeling it right now. But I think I just need to, I'm getting the re-inspiration. I was kind of feeling just hot, uninspired, and all the things, and I'm feeling more re-inspired, so maybe I will pick up, I might be willing to pick up one of these next. And then I have another one that I have just decided that I want to knit, but it's not going to make any difference because it's not much of a different yarn. It's not like cotton, so it's not going to really, it's still going to be a warm yarn to work with. So here are my options. The first is I got this, I have West Yorkshire Spinners fleece, 100% British wool This is blue-faced Leicester in a DK weight, and in light brown. This is to knit the Grow hat by Fiber Tales. I've wanted to knit the Grow hat for a long time. Really odd time to knit a hat though, right? So there's that though. That would be, I kind of would love to have a quicker project after working on the cardigan, but I might be satisfied after finishing the bandana. I might be satisfied with having that quicker project, have something on and off the needles and feel productive and not feel like I need to do this one, but this would be much quicker than picking up one of the other projects that I have in mind. So there's this. It's super soft. It's rustic, but it's super soft and nice. So the Grow hat, I'll put a picture up. Okay, so that's the first option. Or the other one is I really want to knit the Una sweater. I hope I'm saying that right, by Irene Lynn. I got this yarn for it. This is Drop Sky. It says super soft baby alpaca merino wool. Let me see where the color 25. There aren't any other details on. Oh, it is 74% alpaca, 18% polyamide, and 8% wool. And it's super, super soft and squishy. Hopefully it's focusing. So I got this to knit that. It calls for cashmere, but if you've looked at cashmere, you know that that is an incredibly high-end fiber. So this is the alternative that a lot of people have knit in the project section of that pattern. So I want to knit that. It's a beautiful top, and I still really want to make it. I just don't know if I'm feeling it right now. So we'll see. So that is option number 2. Now option number 3 is, if you have been here around for a while, I knit the Monday Sweater Junior for my 2-year-old last year. Has it already been that long? Last year. And I knit it in a blue. And I still have plans to knit the Monday sweater for myself in this pink. So that's my other option. This is Sislerge Heather Hill and Tynn Silk Mohair, and so this would be my sweater for the Monday sweater. That's my other option. Let me see if I can focus it for you. So that's option number 3. But also 108 outside, right? Would I be nuts to cast on a sweater right now? Maybe a little. Okay, that's option number 3. Option number 4. Okay, so there was a cardigan I really wanted to cast on called the Journey Cardigan. I also didn't mention Monday Sweaters by PetiteKnit, if anyone didn't know that. Okay, Journey Cardigan. Did you guys see this? I think it was released really recently. The yarn, who's the yarn by? North Bay Fibers, I think, is the yarn, the yarn company that released this. The pattern is by, North Bay Fiber, by Jill Zielinski, and it's just so beautiful. I love the green that they used, and I love the buttons that they used, and I just want to knit like probably this identical cardigan. I wear a lot of cardigans when it's in the cooler months, and I would love to have a cardigan just like this with this kind of yarn to replace one of my commercial made ones. But after finishing this the Novice cardigan, I'm not feeling this obviously to cast on another cardigan. Also, low-key have the concern, the worry that I'm gonna have the same issue that I did with the Novice cardigan with another cardigan that I cast on. Can someone quell my dismay, my worries, my concerns. If you have any recommendations for that, I am just a little worried that if I cast on a cardigan, the same thing's gonna happen. How can I make sure that that doesn't happen? Let me know, please. So, I do want to knit the Journey cardigan though at some point. I really love that, and so maybe in the fall, that would be a really great fall cast on. Okay, the other project that I want to knit is the Vilma top. This is by Gregoria Fibers. It's so cute. I really want to knit that, and it was looking like it would be a fairly easy knit until I was watching, gosh, who was it I was watching? I think her name is Famke of, I'll put her in her account up or in the description. I was watching a YouTube podcaster, knitting podcaster, and she did the Vilma top, and she had some struggles with it, and so then I was thinking, oh, it doesn't sound like it's the easy cast on that I'm kind of looking for right now. Also, it's knit using 100% wool, I think it was. So I did some research and found that I, in between, if I were to knit this, not saying I'll do it now, but it's in my queue now, but either Barocco Lanas in cream, and that's $11 for 100 grams, and it's 100% South American wool in a worsted weight, and the yarn needed for this is an Aran weight, and it's a yarn from Peru. So that would work, and I've heard good things about Barocco. If you've used, so you'll have to let me know between these two yarns if you've used either of them and what your thoughts are. The other one is Kelborn Woolens Germantown in natural, and this one is $16 per 100 grams. It's 100% North American wool from the US, and it's worsted weight as well. So I would be between those two yarns if I was to do this. So if you have a recommendation, let me know. Or if you have another recommendation for a 100% wool that's an Aran weight, let me know that too. Yeah, so those are all my plans or thoughts. Not necessarily things. I may cast on things in between those. I may choose to do other projects. I just don't know what I'm going to cast on now. So I'm just going to feel it out, work on the bandana, and maybe work on the shawl, and feel it out and see what ends up calling to me of these. I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4 of these 4 potential projects. Yeah. I have so many things on my favorites list, but it's just so hard to choose something to knit something when it's just so hot out. I have so many things I want to knit, and life has been crazy too, so it's hard to pick something up when there's so much going on. Okay, that's everything for knitting. So I have some books, but if you are ready to head on to another video, thanks so much for hanging with me. I so appreciate you listening to my projects, and let me know in the comments maybe which project you think I should pick up or that you would like to see me knit, and if you have any recommendations for yarn for the Vilma top, and if you have any advice for me on my whole dilemma shenanigans with the Novice cardigan and my concerns for my next cardigan. Okay, books, you ready? I've only finished 3 books since we last chatted. I have many in the works though, but as always, I only share with you the books that I have finished. So what I have finished is Dune Messiah. Last time I shared with you that I finished the first one. I finished the second one. It was really good. I audiobooked it, but I did have this copy. My husband got me into this series, and we went and saw the second movie twice in theaters. We loved it so much, and we love this series so far, and we've both read the first book. He just reread the first book, I finished the first, he read the first book. We saw the second movie. He said, I need to go back and reread the first book so that I can read the second book. Because he started the second book at one point, and he said, it wasn't the same people reading it. It threw me off, and he, like, wasn't into it. I'm like, okay. So then when I read it, I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's the same voice actors that did the first one. So I don't know what the deal was. We think maybe that they changed the voice actors that did it, and it threw them off, and then, like, they updated it when it started becoming more popular. But so I read the first one, then read the second one. While I was reading the second one, he went back and reread the first one, and now he's on the second one. He's starting the second one tomorrow. And so I'm ready to read Children of Dune, the third book, but just haven't started it yet. I got the audiobook for it, though. So that one was really good. I read Really Very Crunchy by, I didn't even say who this was by, Frank Herbert. I read Really Very Crunchy by Emily Morrow for book club. And we all really liked this. I think most of us gave this a 3-star or 4 stars. And, oh, you might hear my AC kick on here. And it was good. I really like her Instagram. She posts a lot of funny videos making fun of, you know, crunchy crowd and crunchy moms. And I am definitely what you would call crunchy. So I really enjoy her Instagram and those videos. And so someone suggested this because a lot of the moms on my book club are pretty crunchy, and so we enjoyed it. We all decided, I think, kind of that we liked this. She does a really good foundation setting of things to think about. A lot of, like, recommendations mixed with some stories, and yeah, like funny stories and things. To try and kind of bring that, you know, same humor that she has, the comedy into it. And it was good. So I would recommend it for, though, someone who's maybe in the beginning of their crunchy journey, if you will, who's looking for just some first steps to get started in a more naturally minded, holistic approach to a lot of things in your home, the way you do things when it comes to I should have grabbed my book club notes for this, but when it comes to all kinds of things, food, water, products that we use, all the things. So yeah, it was good. Okay, third book that I finished was If You Will Ask by Oswald Chambers. This was so good. It's so powerful. Reflections on the power of prayer. I really devoured this one. This was recommended to me by sort of a mentor friend, and I'm so glad that I picked it up. So often I was thinking about what do I want to even share on this one, and what comes to mind is, you know, like that last book that I read, not last book, months ago I read The Well-Watered Woman. We read it for, I think, book club, and I feel like there are so many books in the faith genre for Christians that are just really watered down, not digging deeper, not digging deep enough. And the first book that comes to mind when I think of that was The Well-Watered Woman. I did not love that one, but there are plenty of other great books that I have loved recently, Christian books and for moms. That one was not one. But then I still see that book recommended so often by, you know, Christian influencers and stuff. I'm like, really? Like that? And I think when I talked about that book with you guys, I think I said, you know, I'm sure that there are things people could get out of this, but there are so many better books, and so it just surprises me whenever I see that one recommended. I'm like, that I could give you a list of so many better books that will be so much more, what's the word? Just be chock full of so much more gold for you. And so to find books that really are that, like, gold is awesome. And this was one of those. It's so tiny, but I just devoured this in like a week, and I like honestly would pick it up again tomorrow. It was so good, exactly what I needed. And yeah, so I could highly recommend Oswald Chambers. He has other books as well, and this one is an older copy. My mentor friend, she recommends to me, she says, get the older copies. I use thrift books. She said, get the oldest copies that you can get of these, because oftentimes when they are republished, they change things or take things out, and they aren't as good as the original ones. And so I try to get the oldest version I can get my hands on. So this is a little bit of an older version, but there are newer versions that you can get on thrift books, Amazon and stuff. And there's another book that I'm reading that she recommended to me as well, right now that I'm working my way through. So by the time, next time I chat with you, I'll probably have that one finished, and I'll be able to share on that one too. So that is it. Thanks so much for hanging out with me and talking about knits and books this time around. I'm sorry it took so long again. Hopefully it won't be as long until next time. And I will see you all over on Instagram. If you haven't connected with me there yet, I'll put my handle up. It's Brooke__Shovelin. So come connect with me, and I share sometimes what I'm reading, what I'm knitting over there as well. And yeah, I'll see you all next time. So happy reading, happy knitting, and stay cool wherever you are at.